We are streaming live on our website at www.ctv.co.ug/live. My name is Priva Elibaz. Welcome to our lifestyle, beauty and wellness segment. And in this particular episode, we're going to be looking at lifestyle and in general the film industry in Uganda. And joining me at the center of this conversation is none other than Mr. Nathan Magwala, who is an independent filmmaker. He's a producer, he's a scriptwriter, and he's the brain behind the famous local TV series that is Prestige.
Give you the last time you humiliated me by sleeping with Jasmine, but this. Do you think I am stupid?
Milton, please, Milton, please look at me. No, don't shoot.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, I'm just going to dive right in. As someone who has vast experience and vast knowledge about the film industry, what's your assessment of Uganda's film industry right now, currently?
I would say that we've come a long way, but I feel like right now we are on the right track, and great things are going on, great things are coming up.
That's what you would definitely say about the film industry in general.
Yes, that the future is optimistic.
Well, a recent study from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, that's UBOS, it did indicate that the film industry contributes about 3.5 of the GDP. But there is still lack of funding that is directed to the film industry in Uganda at the moment. Do you understand why something like that could be happening?
No, because I think the thing is that on the whole there's kind of like a lack of appreciation for the arts. But I think our government needs to borrow a leaf from other countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, where they know that the film industry is a very big entity that can employ lots of youth, and so there's need for them to actually fund it so it can actually prosper, and in the end we'll end up contributing a little more to the GDP than currently.
Than just the 3.5.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the things that you think we could borrow from these big film industries like Nollywood? Let's keep it Africa, like Nollywood, or in South Africa or Kenya, like you mentioned.
Yeah, that the government has come up with first of all training programs, and then funding programs whereby they are funding production. They are contributing to our production, because first of all you kind of have to understand that a film is not just a product, entertainment, but it is culture. So culture is priceless, so we really need to put money in the film industry, because a lot of people a lot of countries like in Europe, they look at it as culture, and culture is priceless. They fund films, so our government needs to borrow a leaf from those countries and do the same.
Actively fund the film industry. Well, you spoke of government initiatives. We see that Uganda Communications Commission, that is the UCC, as a regulatory body actually, in trying to streamline and actually advance the film industry, they have tried to come up with initiatives like the Film Festival. How do you think that has helped us achieve our full potential?
No, because the film festival, the UFL Film Festival organized by UCC has been a godsend to our industry. That ever since it started, it has led to competitiveness in the industry, because every time people are creating work expecting to win the award, and in so being competitive, it has led to an improvement in the quality of the products that we do. But then also the idea that they have cash prizes, it means that filmmakers are being supported to kind of recoup back some of the money that they spent on production, and in a way also kind of helping them move forward with production of new films. But then UCC has not only put up a film festival, they also have put up a content development fund, where they started last year, and I think they awarded 4 people grants to produce films. But then because these grants are kind of the amount of money that they give you is kind of more than an average Ugandan film's budget, so that people are in position to kind of produce better work, because they kind of have a little bit access to a little bit more money. So in so doing, it means that with time the quality of our work is going to improve.
Absolutely. Well, still speaking about low budget planning and all that, you realize that the perspective of the public about the film industry in Uganda is that it doesn't really pay. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, that has been the case in the past, but now, you know, things are kind of looking up, so things are improving. So we have people who actually, you know, earning money from it.
Statistically, would you tell the number of people that are employed by the film sector? Would you really be able to quantify that? Because many people still look at it as something that is very informal.
Yeah, I mean, granted it is, but, you know, like I said, things are improving, and, you know, there are quite a number of hundreds of people who actually, like, you know, earning money, making their living out of it.
Okay, so how are filmmakers able to put content on air? Like I mentioned earlier in our conversation, we have pay TVs, we have all these streaming platforms. Do you have intermediaries who help you put that certain content on air, or do you do that by yourself? No,
because it depends on where you're trying to go. So, like, you know, one filmmaker, Lukman Ali, recently made a splash. He had like the first Ugandan film on Netflix, and to do that you need intermediaries. But then there's also like people who are actually doing what, you know, finding their own money, producing content, and then just approaching TV stations that, you know, I have this, is complete, put it on air, and then, you know, figure out a way to compensate me. But then you also have entities like, you know, Pearl Magic Prime, that are kind of have a mixture of those approaches that, you know, you create your content, you go to them, I have content here, can you buy it? They buy it. But then they're also kind of like reaching out to filmmakers, you know, putting out calls, you know, we need a TV series of this many episodes. If you can, you know, produce it, then, you know, put in your proposal, and then they take it from there. I love the fact that there's actually demand for for Ugandan content on all these TVs that they're requesting for. Are we really creating that content? Are we producing that content here, Ali? Yes, we are. And, you know, you'd be surprised because a lot of demand for local content has led to kind of people kind of specializing in that. So you find, okay, now you have your Pearl Magic and Pearl Magic Prime channels, strictly local content, and then, of course, local TV series. And then recently, you know, pay TV provider, what's the name? StarTimes, they also just launched a brand new channel for local content. So there is demand, and there is and when you see people opening up, you know, channels specifically for that, you know that, you know, they've figured out that, you know, the market can sustain their operations. So the content is there. The content is there. Yeah. Let's talk about the challenges. What are the most challenges that you face as filmmakers in the industry, minus the bit of low budgets for the film? Yeah, because the low budgets come from the fact that, you know what, because a lot of people are not seeing this as something that has potential to create employment, potential to sustain livelihoods. So you find that there's just no funding for it. You know, a lot of other businesses, when you don't have money, you can go to the bank and borrow money and, you know, carry it on, but it's kind of hard to give you a loan to make a film. But because of that, that's why you find that, you know what, that's the biggest challenge that people have, because if you don't have money, then you can't hire cast, you can't hire crew, and, you know, everything else. You just can't put a production together. But then that's not the only thing. That a while back, you know, you would think, you know, there are people have equipment, there are companies that, you know, rent out equipment. But then right now that, you know, there's a lot of TV series being produced, so which are ongoing, they take a very long time. That's where you kind of realize that, you know, actually there is no equipment in the market. So you kind of have to look for money and buy your own equipment, because if you think that you're going to rent equipment, by the time you go there, it is out and people are not bringing it back. And then also the other thing is that there is kind of a shortage of skilled talent, both in front and behind the camera. That also, like, you know, a couple years back, you would think that, you know, the people are there because, you know, one producer needs to work with certain actors or certain technicians like this week, and they do their film and it is done. So those people are available for another producer the next week, available for another producer the third week, and so on. But then when you find that, you know, one producer is engaging these people like for a whole year, and then, you know, there is like 4, 5, 6 productions that long ongoing at the same time, that's when you realize that, you know, actually there is no crew members, there's no cast. So in the end, you're going to find that, you know, you'll find lots of shows that kind of have the same faces. Yeah, but then at least, like, you know, on our end, we decided that, you know, we're going to take a chance on newcomers. So our primary consideration is people who are available, that, you know, you don't have any other distractions, you don't have another job, whatever, you're just available to work with us. And then we don't care if you've never acted, we'll take a chance on you, we'll train you, and, you know, from then you take it from there.
Okay. Does government tax different stages of your production?
Yeah, they do.
They actually do that?
Yeah, because, I mean, first of all, we need to bring in equipment. You get taxed for that. And then, you know, yeah, income tax.
all that goes into that. Well, I'd love your final closing remarks. Where do you see the Uganda film industry in the near future? Well, not cap it on a certain time limit, but in the near future.
Yes, the thing is that I've spoken to a lot of people, foreigners, who have come into Uganda, and then they've told me that, you know what, Uganda has such beautiful stories. So we have so many stories that are kind of unproduced. So I believe that in a couple of years, when we kind of have a little bit more training, a little bit, you know, more experience, it's going to be very competitive. The industry is going to be very competitive, and maybe in a decade or so, we'll be rivaling Nollywood.
Absolutely. Well, there you had it from Mr. Nathan Magola, who is an independent filmmaker. He's a scriptwriter. He's a producer as well of Prestige, which is a popular TV local series. Well, you had it right there. This is all we had for you on the segment of Wellness, Beauty and Lifestyle. My name is Priva Elibaz. Good morning.
So, you know your father bought my shares in Prestige, right?
He did? So what are the decisions you've been reviewing?
That this is not going to work out.
What?
This partnership.
Ariana, we just got started.